Good morning, guys. Are you getting my voice? Guys, are you getting my voice? Look at that. Oh, today's count is 8. Very good. We will wait for 1 more minute if anybody join. Okay, guys. Yesterday we have started this Hadoop IO. We have seen briefly the basics of the Java, that is data types in Java, interface in Java. Now we have to see one more important concept of this one. Yesterday class we have seen what are the primitive data types in Java. Next, what are the interfaces in Java? What is the concept of interface in Java? Now today we have to see one more important concept of the Java, that is serialization and deserialization. Okay, what is this serialization in Java? Can anybody have any idea about this serialization? An idea on the topic మీద? What is this concept of serialization in Java? See, simply serialization in Java is nothing but the process of converting object into byte streams is known as serialization. The process of converting the object into byte streams. Okay, normally we know how to create the objects for the classes. We will create many objects to the classes. Depending on our requirement for the same class, sometimes we create two or more objects. Clear? So the conversion of that object into the byte streams, that means in the form of zeros and ones, is known as the serialization. Clear? Later we will understand why we have to convert. First, what is serialization means? The process of converting Java objects into byte streams is known as serialization. Reverse of this process is called deserialization. Okay, the process of converting back byte streams back to the object. The process of converting byte streams back to the object is known as the deserialization. The reverse of serialization is deserialization. Simply, the process of converting object into byte streams is called serialization. That reverse process from byte streams to object is known as the deserialization. Next, immediate the question we will get is why we need serialization in Java. What is the advantage of this serialization in Java? Clear. Sometimes the object of the Java application has to transfer to some other application through the network. For example, client program is written in Java. Similarly, the server program is running in Java. Okay, client is communicating with server. That means the client object has to travel through the network to the server machine. And the server will give some reply. The server object has to travel through the network to the client machine. That means here both machine applications are Java applications only. Okay, the client application wants to communicate with server application through the objects. Then how the object will transfer through the network? Okay, the client is in Hyderabad, the server is in America or some other location. How the object will be transferred through the network means? Okay, directly the object will not transfer through the network. So to travel the object through the network, we have to convert that object into byte streams. That means in the form of bytes. Okay, we know very well. Okay, in the network, how the data will be traveled. Okay, the data will be traveled only in the form of zeros and ones only. We have to convert our object also into byte streams for traveling through the network. Clear. That is the main thing. Okay, one Java application wants to communicate with another Java application or wants to share data with another application. Whenever two Java applications are communicating with one another, the object of one application has to go to the other application and reply has to come to this application. Like that communication will be there. At that time, how to transfer that object through the network means with the help of this serialization. First, by applying Java serialization, we convert the Java objects into byte streams. Then the byte streams will travel throughout the network, and at the other side, the byte streams will be converted back to the object. That is the deserialization. At the client side, it will send it. The sender side, it will apply serialization, and byte streams will be traveled. At the receiver side, deserialization will be applied, and it will get back the object. That is the thing. So one main use of why we want the serialization and deserialization is to transfer the to travel to make transfer the object through the network. We want the Java serialization. Okay. Next, one more important feature is one more use of this serialization is sometimes we want to store the Java objects in the local disk. We want to store the Java objects permanently. Okay. For example, client status is there. We want to store the client status in some file. We want the data permanently, so we want to store the Java client object permanently. At that time also to store the Java objects, we use the serialization. First we convert the object into byte streams, then the byte streams will be stored in the local file system. Okay, by using Java serialization, we can travel the, we can trans, we can transfer the object through the network, or we can store the object in the local file system. Those are the main two advantages of Java serialization. Not only Java serialization, any serialization. The serialization use is to make the objects travel through the network or to store the objects in the local file system in the form of byte streams. We use the serialization. Clear? That is the first thing. What is this concept of serialization? Now see briefly what is this one. Generally, serialization means nothing but converting raw data into byte streams. Streams of bytes are byte streams. The process of converting raw data into byte streams, okay, which can travel along different networks or it can reside in different file systems. Okay, the process of converting raw data into byte streams, which can travel through various networks or it can store in different file systems. Clear? That is called serialization. Is nothing but converting of the raw data. When we come to Java general serialization is this one. The general definition of the serialization is converting raw data into byte streams. What is Java serialization is process of converting object data into byte stream data. Java serialization is conversion of the object data into byte stream data. Okay, for transmission over a network or for persistent data storage. Okay, the process of converting object into byte streams for transmission over a network or for persistent data. So persistent means permanent data storage. To store the object data permanently or to transfer the data through the network, we use the Java serialization. What is deserialization? Is reverse of this one. Java deserialization is the reverse of serialization. Converts byte streams back to the object data. Okay, the reverse conversion of byte streams into object data is called the Java deserialization. Generally, at the sender side, it will apply serialization. At the receiver side, it will apply deserialization. Clear? When we come to our Hadoop, our topic is the writables. Okay, about our Hadoop, we are talking about the writables. Okay, when we come to the Hadoop, writables are used for doing serialization and deserialization. Okay, how can we achieve serialization and deserialization in the Hadoop means with the help of these writables? Okay, Hadoop writable data types, we can achieve serialization and deserialization. Clear? That is the thing. In the Hadoop, with the help of these writables, we can achieve the serialization and deserialization. Okay, by using this writable interface, our concept is the writable interface. By using this writable interface, not only serialization, we can also perform comparison and sorting operations also. By using the writable interface of Hadoop, we can perform serialization, we can perform comparison, we can perform sorting with the help of this writable interface. These three things can be done in the Hadoop. One is serialization, next comparison and sorting. We can perform all these operations with the help of which is our concept writable interface when we come to the Hadoop. Clear? These are the some basic points about the serialization. See, simply remember this is an important topic one. Whenever in Java, anybody asks you what is this concept of serialization? Java serialization is nothing but conversion of Java object into byte streams is called serialization. The reverse process is called deserialization. Why we want serialization in Java means one advantage is for transferring of the object data through the network to other machines. For transferring of the object data through the network to some other machines or for permanent storage of the object data. Okay, those are the two uses of the serialization. Why we want serialization is either for transferring of the data through the network or for permanent storage of the data. We use this Java serialization. Okay, that is the thing. We have to remember this definition. Why are writables introduced in Hadoop? Now we will come to our back to our Hadoop. Clear. Basically, we have seen when we come to Java, in the Java, we have seen what are the primitive data types in Java, what is this interface concept in Java, next is serialization in Java. Now we are coming back to our original topic that is called the writables. Why writables are introduced in Java? Okay. Now the question is whether writables are necessary for Hadoop. Is it necessary for the writable interface in Hadoop? Clear. The writable interface in the Hadoop will perform the following tasks. Okay, we use the writable interface in the Hadoop. for performing the following tasks. What are those tasks? Means one is already we told previously, to implement serialization and deserialization. We use the writable interface. Why writables are introduced in Java means one use of these writables is to implement the serialization and deserialization in Hadoop. Next, to transfer data between clusters and networks. The second use of these writables in Hadoop is for easy transfer of data between clusters and networks. For easy transfer of the data between clusters and networks. Already we know Hadoop is a cluster of machines. It is a group of machines from 100 machines to thousands of machines will be there in the Hadoop cluster. Basing on the size of the Hadoop cluster, many number of systems will be there in the Hadoop. Okay, so we have to transfer the data between those systems through the network. We have to transfer the data among the systems in the cluster. Okay, for easy transfer of data between the clusters, also we use the Hadoop writables. Again, we will get this point in the next topic also. Transfer of data between clusters and networks. We will see it one more time also. Next, one more important advantage is the why we are using the writables means we can store the serializable data in the local disk of the system. Okay. See, Hadoop is dealing with a huge amount of data. It is dealing with the large amounts of data. Huge files are stored in the Hadoop. Clear. So we want to store those files securely. The client is approaching in the Hadoop for storing the large files which are more important for him. Okay, to store the data more securely, we use this writables. With the help of the writables, the serialized data, that means the byte stream data can be stored in the local disk of the system. In the local file system, we can store the serialized data by using the writables easily. Clear. That is the these are three main uses why writables are introduced in Hadoop means one is to implement serialization and deserialization. Next, for transferring of data between clusters and networks. Next, to store the serialized data in the local file system. Okay, writables are introduced in Hadoop for mainly for doing the following tasks. These three tasks. Next, implementation of writable. Okay, whenever we want to write the programming using this writable, implementation of writable is similar to that of implementation of interface in Java. How we are implementing interfaces in Java, the same process we can implement the writables in Hadoop. We will see later in the programming how can we implement the writables. Okay, here also to implement the writable interface, we use the keyword implements only. In Java, what is the keyword we are using for implementation of interface? For implementing interface in Java, we are using the implements keyword. In case of inheritance between two classes, we are using extends keyword in Java. If the inheritance is between one interface and one class, we are using the implements keyword. I think you remember those two keywords, extends keyword and implements keyword in Java. If base class is also a class, derived class is also a class, then between base class and derived class, we use the implements. Class B extends class A. Whenever the base class is interface and derived class is class, class B implements interface A. We use the Q1 implement. Similarly, the Hadoop also for implementing the writable interface, we use the implement keyword only. When we go to the programming, all these points will be familiar to you. See, writable is a strong interface in Hadoop, which while serializing the data reduces data size enormously. Okay, writable is a strong interface in Hadoop, which while serializing the data reduces the data size enormously means it will reduce the data size as much as possible while it is performing serialization on the data. It will reduce the data size so that the data can be exchanged easily within the network. Clear. Writable, why we are using the writable interface in Java means writable interface is a strong interface in Hadoop, which will reduce the data size when we are serializing the data. By using the writable interface, if we are doing serialization of data, it will reduce the data size enormously when we compare with the Java serialization. Hadoop writable serialization will reduce the data size enormously means mostly. Okay, it will reduce the data size mostly so that the reduced data can be easily traveled through the network. Clear. See, generally what will happen is when we apply Java serialization, The serialization will be applied to all the fields of that object. For example, we have class A is there. Class A contains four instance variables are there. Int A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. Totally five instance variables are there in that one. Okay. Okay. For the class, how many instance variables are we have taken? We have taken five instance variables. After creating object, I want to serialize only variable A, object one dot A. I want to serialize the instance variable A of the object A. I don't want all the five variables serialized. I want. When we come to Java serialization, specific field only cannot be serialized. We have to serialize all the fields, even though you like or not like. When we want to serialize any one field, we have no option at all. We have to serialize all the fields of that object. That means ఒకే ఒక వేరియబుల్ serialize చేయాలంటే possible అవ్వదు. We have to serialize all the five variables. Even though you want to only one object, sorry, one variable to be serialized, you have to serialize all the fields, all the variables, instance variables of that object. Why? Because Java serialization cannot be done separately for each and every variable. It has to be done on all the instance variables of the class. So that what will happen when we want to serialize the variable A, we have to serialize all the five variables A, B, C, D, E, F. So what is happening? The serialized data size is increasing. The data size of the serialized data size will be increasing. But when we come to the Hadoop serialization, using the writable interface, if we apply Hadoop serialization, the advantage in this one is whatever the field you want to serialize, you can serialize that field only. Out of five instance variables, if you want to serialize only the one variable A, you can serialize only A. No need to serialize remaining B, C, D, F, D, E, F. Out of five variables, you can serialize only one variable. That is the advantage in the Hadoop serialization when we compare with Java serialization. That's why when we are serializing data using a writable interface of Hadoop, the serialized data the data size will be reduced enormously. Why? Because here one main point is we can serialize only the fields we want. For example, the class contains five instance variables, five instance methods are there. Among those, you want to serialize only one variable and one method. So in Java serialization, it is not possible. You have to serialize all the fields of the object. But when we come to the Hadoop serialization using writable interface, you can serialize only the variable you want. You can serialize only the method you want. So whatever the object data, okay, you have no need to serialize all the object data. Whatever the data of the object you want to serialize, you can serialize that one only. That's why this writable interface is a strong interface in Hadoop, which can reduce the data size enormously when we are applying the serialization. Clear. This is also one of the main reason why Hadoop people are not using Java serialization, even though Hadoop is developed in Java. Why they are not using Java serialization? Why they are preferring the separate serialization? The reason is Java serialization will create a huge amount of byte streams. The data, okay, the byte stream size will be very large when we compare with the byte stream generated by the Hadoop serialization. The byte streams generated by the Java serialization is very much high when we compare with the byte streams of the Hadoop serialization. That's why they prefer only the Hadoop serialization instead of using the already available Java serialization. Clear. When we come to this writable interface, it has two important fields are there in the writable interface. One is read and write. Generally, later we will discuss more points about this read and write. Generally, write is used for serialization. The write field is of the writable interface is used for serialization. The read field of the writable interface is used for deserialization. Okay, read and write. Read is used for deserialization, and write is used for serialization. To transfer the data through the network, we use the write field. To receive the data from the network, we use the read field. The writable interface has two fields. We will see later about this read and write in the future classes. We will see. Okay, every data inside the Hadoop should accept writable and comparable interfaces. ఈ పాయింట్ మనకి ఇప్పుడు అర్థం కాదు. We will discuss this point later. Just remember this point. We will discuss later. Every data in the Hadoop should accept writable and comparable interface properties. Currently, we don't discuss this point. Why? Because we can't understand now. We will discuss that point later. Now, again, the question is important. Viva question will be there. What if writable was not there in Hadoop? If writable interface was not there in Hadoop, what will happen? That is the important Viva question. He will ask different questions. What will happen if writable interface is not present in the Hadoop? Otherwise, one more time, the same question will be in different format. Okay, why we are? What will happen if I use Java serialization instead of Hadoop serialization? If I use Java serialization in Hadoop, what will happen? Why I am using Hadoop? Why I have to use Hadoop serialization? Why should not I use Java serialization? Like that, he will ask that question. See, serialization is important in Hadoop because it enables easy transfer of data. Clear. If writable is not present in Hadoop, see this one. Serialization plays major role in Hadoop because it helps in easy transfer of data. If writable is not present in Hadoop, then it uses Java serialization. What is the problem with if writable is not present in Hadoop? What is the problem is if writable is not present in Hadoop, Hadoop serialization is not possible. So the Hadoop has to use the Java serialization. When we use the Java serialization, it increases the data overhead in the network. Okay, the Java serialization will increase the data overhead in the network. Why? Because Java serialization will create more sized byte streams. Okay, the byte streams generated by the Java serialization will be size of the byte streams created by the Java serialization is more, very much more when we compare with the size of byte streams generated by the Hadoop serialization. If writable is not present in Hadoop, okay, we have no other option. Since writable is not available, we must use the serialization of Java only in Hadoop also, which will increase the data overhead in the network. Since the size is more, network overhead will be more in case of if we use the Java serialization. See, for example, he has given a small example to understand that one. If you serialize a small int data type, okay, a small int data type is serialized in Java. If a small int value is serialized in a Java, for example, we have a value, some value like this small int value is there, like 20. Okay, some small int value is there in the Java. If you serialize that small int value using Java serialization, the value will be in the form of this one. The byte stream for that value will be like, okay, this is the byte stream of the small int serialized value. If you take a small int value in Java serialization, what is the byte stream size? The size of the byte stream will be this much. For same small int value is serialized using Hadoop serialization. If the same value is using Hadoop serialization, what is the value? Size of the value is this one. The byte stream of that same small int value using Hadoop writable is this one. Using Java serialization is this one. If you have you can easily get now the point. Okay, both are same. Both will convert the objects data into byte streams. But when we compare with the Hadoop byte streams, the size of the Java byte streams is very much more. So that what will happening is if you want to transfer this data through the network, data overhead will be there in the network. If you transfer this one, data overhead will be very much less. Why? Because here the data size is very much less when we compare with this size. This is very small. Clear. That is the thing. So here today we have to connect the important points we have to understand in the today class is writable interface in Hadoop is mainly used for serialization and deserialization of data. That is the first point we have to gather here. Writable interface is mainly used for serialization and deserialization in Hadoop. Next, okay, when writable interface is not present in Hadoop, the Hadoop has to use Java serialization. It has no option. It has to use the Java serialization. If Hadoop use Java serialization, what is the problem is data overhead will occur in the network. Why? Because Java serialization will create byte streams whose size is very much large when we compare with the Hadoop serialization. So when we use the Java serialization, the byte streams will be very much large when we compare with the Hadoop serialization. That's why writable interface is very important in Hadoop. Why? Because without that one, we have no other option. We have to use Java serialization, which creates more amount of data, whose data size is very much large. That is the importance of writable interface. Clear? Why writable interface is important in Java? What will happen if writable interface is not present in the Java? Clear? That is this one. What if writable were not there in Hadoop? Next, why are writables introduced in Java? What is the reason why writable interface is introduced in Java? What will happen if writable interface was not present in the Hadoop? Sorry, not in Java, not in Hadoop. Why writable interface is introduced in Hadoop? What will happen if writables are not present in the Hadoop? I think you have got some rough idea about this one now. Writables are introduced mainly for implementing serialization and deserialization. If writables are not present, we have to use Java serialization in Hadoop also, which will create the data overhead. Why? Because the size of the Java serialized data is very much high when we compare with the size of the Hadoop serialized data. Clear? This is the today's class. Why writables are introduced in Hadoop? What if writables are not present in Hadoop? That is our today's class. Tomorrow we have to learn about this writable interface more clearly. Okay, what is the structure of this writable interface? What are the methods available in this interface? Okay, remaining things we have to learn in the next classes. Is it okay, guys? Today's class. Why writables are introduced in Hadoop? What will happen if writables are not present in the Hadoop? Is it okay today's class? Or any doubts? Okay, then we will meet on the tomorrow with the continuation of the writables. This is the briefly today's class. Okay, thank you very much. We will meet on tomorrow again. Thank you.